I built the best free-to-play dungeon in 24 hours.
Alright guys, first off, let's just start with her asset cores. And she needs the crownless tacit core, so yeah, let's just go and fight this guy. Okay, next we can start farming her echoes. Alright guys, next we can move on to her flowers and change the bell poppy. Alright guys, the day reset just happened. Rise and shine guys, it's the next day and we can start off the day by leveling her up. I hope I have enough XP because I've been running like super low on XP, so yeah, I hope this is enough.
Now that my blade is faster, I should be able to make cleaner cuts.
Okay, that's good I guess. Yeah, I hope this is enough. This has to be enough.
My crimson blades are lasting longer, and my whole body feels so light. I never knew this sword could feel so light in my hands. Vengeance is not mindless killing. It is about identifying the root of malice and hitting where it truly hurts. Thank you. The move you've taught me has been very useful.
Let's go, it was enough. Yes. Yeah guys, I'm sorry, I can't take her any higher than this because your boy's broke. Just move on to her skills. And yeah, let's just talk about her basic attacks. So she has the normal 3-hit combo, 1, 2, 3. But she has a ton of combos where you mix her skill and her basic attacks. Like she can mark the enemy if you do 2 basic attacks, intro or dodge, and then 2 skills. And yeah, Danjin will do 20% more damage to those enemies. And also her echo damage too. Alright, let me just show you guys. Alright, let's do the 2 basic attacks and then 2 skill. And then you should mark the enemy. 1, 2, 1, 2. There we go. They got marked. Alright, let me show you guys the dodge one. Dodge and then 1, 2, kill, and then yeah, they're all marked. And we'll stop the intro one. Intro. And then 2 skill 1, 2, and yeah, everybody's marked. She has a lot of combos. That's the fun thing about her. Next, let's move on to her skill. So her skill basically consumes her HP. Like, there we go. I lost 3% of my HP. But her HP won't be consumed if she only has like 1% HP. Yeah, that's good. And her skill has no cooldown. You can just spam it. Alright, so when it comes to her skill, she has 3 combos. Let's start with like first one, Common Gleam. So this is the most basic one. You just hit the enemy with her skill. Bam, you're done. And then we have the Crimson Erosion, the thing that I showed you guys earlier. Then Incinerating Will, which is the mark. Or dodge, attack. Then 1, 2, and then they're all marked. And then this marking here lasts for 12 seconds. So yeah, make sure to like refresh it in case it runs out. And then lastly, we have her Sanguine Pulse. Alright, so this is basically 1, 2, 3, and then 1, 2, 3 skills. And yeah, this does more damage. And something to keep in mind is that all of these attacks still consume HP, even if they don't hit the enemy. So 1, 2, 3, and then 1, 2, 3. And when it comes to the Sanguine Pulse, the third basic attack, which attacks 3 times, will consume the 3% HP. So this one here, 3 times. Now you guys are probably thinking, okay, I have to run her with a healer, right? Like there's no way I can use her without a healer. Well, nope, she doesn't need a healer. She can heal herself with her Forte. So she gets 40 stacks every time she hurts herself. And once you have these 40 stacks, you can do a heavy attack to consume them. And then she heals herself, as you can. So you're basically sacrificing your HP bar for your Forte bar. When it comes to her Forte, you can't use it if you only have like 1 stack. Like as you can see, I can't use it yet. You have to be at half. Let's get to half. There we go. And then it starts moving and then you can consume it. Bam. But I wouldn't recommend you guys to use her 40 stacks if it's not at max. Unless you're at like 50% and you really need healing, then yeah, it's fine. And then this is the damage at 100%, so yeah, there's a lot more. Oh, and you get the 50 Consoro regardless if her 40 is at 50% or at 100%. So yeah, she's one of the characters in the game with the least field time. Something to keep in mind about her 40 is that if you're at max and when you do your heavy attack and you let go, make sure to like hit the attack button once more to do the last hit of her 40. Hold. Let go and then attack. There we go. That was the last hit. Because yeah, she won't do the last attack by herself. You have to do it on your own. Like bam. There we go guys. I didn't do it. The window's closed. I can't do it now. When it comes to her ultimate, this is her nuke. Watch the time.
Judgment.
Bam, we just stopped. So did the enemy. So yeah, this is a pretty cool ability, and it attacks enemies super fast. So yeah, this has a big multiplier, low cooldown, low energy cost, and it gives her 20 Consoro. Her intro deals havoc damage and gives her 10 Consoro. So yeah guys, her field time is super low, like 10 Consoro from intro, 20 from her ultimate, and then 50 from her Forte. So yeah, she already has like 80 Consoro just from that. Like that's just insane guys. Next we have her outro, which makes her the best sub DPS for havoc characters. So it boosts the next character's havoc damage by 23%. Her first inherent skill increases her skill damage by 20% after you do a dodge counter. So this is basically where you mark the enemy, but keep in mind that this doubles the HP cost and the stacks are double too. So yeah, this will be the fastest way to get her 40 stacks. So to use this, you do a dodge counter and then use her skill 2 times. So basically the marking. Alright, so dodge and then attack to make it a dodge counter. Dodge, attack, and into skill. 1, 2. There we go. Her second inherent skill increases her heavy attack, so basically her Forte, by 30% after you do her Sanjuan pulse combo. Alright guys, so that's 3 basic attacks and then 3 skills. So 1, 2, 3, and then 1, 2, 3. There we go. 30% more damage from her Forte now. Oh, and something to keep in mind about this is that it activates after her first skill. So yeah, you can do 3 basic attacks and then 1 skill, and then do her Forte's heavy attack if it's charged. When it comes to her talents, her Forte is the most important one, and then her skill and her ultimate. So yeah, these 3 are really important. You can skip her basic attack and her intro if you want to save resources. And yeah, make sure to get these. They're pretty important. Let's get them first. There we go. Bruh. Alright, there we go. Bam. And next we can get all of these to 6. Bam. 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 And the final. Bam. These are pretty important too guys. The havoc damage and the attack are useful. So yeah, let's just level these. Bam. And a bam. Alright, I can't unlock these, so I guess I should do these too. Yeah, okay, these are pretty expensive. 100k? No, bro, I'm gonna be broke after this. But yeah, anything for you guys. And one more. There we go. I would take her to 90 if I could. I'm kind of broke, so I can't. Next, I'm gonna quickly go over her sequences. So her S1 gives her up to 30% more attack when she hits marked enemies. Her second one gives her 20% more damage against marked enemies. Her ultimate does 30% more damage with her third one. Her fourth one gives her 15% more crit rate. If her Forte is higher than 50%. Her fifth one gives her 15% more havoc damage. And she gains another 15% if her HP is below 60. So yeah, 30% havoc damage. And then her sixth one is what makes her one of the best sub DPSs in the game. So her heavy attack increases the entire team's attack by 20%. So yeah, her S6 is really good. Let's quickly go over her weapons. So her best weapon is of course Changli's weapon. Because of the 56% skill damage increase, the 12% free permanent attack, and the 48% free crit damage will make her a lot easier to build. But I don't think this weapon is worth getting unless you have Changli or you're planning on going for Changli. Next, let's move on to her second best weapon and her more accessible weapon, which is the standard 5-star sword. But yeah, in my opinion, this is her best weapon. So it gives her 12% ER, which is good to have, and you won't need the ER rolls on your echoes. And then the crit rate will make her a lot easier to build, and the higher attack since it's a 5-star weapon. And since her skill has no cooldown, she basically gets 12% free attack permanently. So yeah, this weapon is made for her. Her best 4-star option is the commando because of the high attack, and you always want to use Danjin's intro. And if you're running her as a sub DPS, then she won't need a 15-second field time. And this is especially good if you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 copies. But if you want to run her as a main DPS, then the Endless Collapse is a better option. The Battle Pass weapon, Lumen Gloss, is pretty good for her too. The Luna Cutter is pretty good too. But if you don't have any of those, then you can give her the new free sword from the event. This is pretty good as a main DPS because you actually have more field time. And another really good option for her is the craftable 4-star sword. So this one here, sword 18, and yeah, the effect is perfect for her. And if you're new to the game and you don't have any of those weapons, then your best 3-star option would be the Sword of Night at R5. The overtune is useless on her since her kit gives her enough Consoro. She doesn't need ER, and if you compare this weapon's stats to other 4-star options, then yeah, it's just bad. Like, it's too low. I wouldn't use this. So yeah, we're going to go with the standard 5-star sword. Let's move on to her echoes. So Danjin is like Chang-Li, where she can be both played as a main DPS and a sub DPS. So yeah, she has a lot of options when it comes to the echoes. Her most fun playstyle is of course main DPS with the Sun Sinking Eclipse set and the Dreamless Echo, but the Crownless works too. If you don't have a full set, then you can also give her some Lingering Tunes pieces. Set works on every DPS. I've also seen people playing her with the Rejuvenating Glow set, but she will only heal herself. I'm gonna be assuming that most people who clicked on this video will use her as a sub DPS for Camellya, and for that the Moonlit Cloud set is a lot better. But don't worry, I'll show you her main DPS rotations too. So 4-3-3-1-1 is her best combo. On the 4 cost we want crits, on the 3 cost we want double havoc. If you don't have a second havoc piece, then attack is fine for now. As for the 1 cost, since she's a DPS, she wants attack. For the substats we want crits, attack, heavy attack, skill damage is pretty good too, since she uses all of them, and she doesn't really need much ER, but if you can get some ER then it's good. If you put the Moonlit set on her, then you can always reuse some pieces. Alright guys, wish me luck, because yeah, I'm gonna need it. Nope. Bruh. Rep man. Yeah, I'm broke guys. Yep. Bruh, why are these rolls so bad? Alright guys, so this is what we ended up with. Double crit, double crit, double crit, double crit, and double crit. I think we have too much ER. Yeah, that's too much for her. I don't know why I'm so unlucky with the echoes. But yeah, rep man. I feel like it would be better if I switched the forecast to crit damage, because I have too much crit rate. Let me just show you guys her stats with the Shorekeeper. So yeah guys, she has too much crit rate, and this is without her attack buff. Like, she would have more attack if I use her heavy attack. So yeah, if you're wondering what her endgame stats should look like, then yeah, here you go. So yeah, too much crit rate and too much ER. When it comes to her teams, her most famous team is the Havoc Rover Danjin team with the double Dreamless Echo. This is also her best free-to-play team, but yeah, other than this, it's a usual main DPS, sub DPS, and healer. So for a healer, it's a normal Verena, Yuhu, Baija. Yuanshin can work here too, but the best one is of course the Shorekeeper. I have a build guide on all of the healers if you guys need help with them. And then for the sub DPS, these days we have Danjin here, but Taochi can work really well with Danjin. Yang works too, but Danjin's best teammate is of course Morify. This is probably her best team in the game right now, because Morify boosts heavy attack damage and Danjin does a heavy attack, so yeah, that's pretty good. So for the main DPS, if you don't have Havoc over here, then your only other option would be of course Camellya. I'm guessing that's why most of you guys are even watching this video. I'm gonna be honest here guys, most Danjin mains, like 99.9% of them, just go with this. Like the Danjin mains are like the most scary people in this game. They can clear any content with Danjin solo. So when it comes to her rotations, her kill is pretty simple. You mark the enemies and then use her ultimate, and then spam the 3 basic attacks and the 3 skills until her Forte is maxed, and then use the heavy attack for her nuke, and then switch to the next character. Oh, and don't use her ultimate at the beginning if you have her S5 and her S6, because she won't get all of the buffs. So yeah, you want to use her Echo first, and if you're using the Dreamless, you don't want to be on field when you use the Echo. And then you start with her intro, 2 skills to mark the enemy, and then ultimate if you don't have her S5 or S6. And then yeah, you do 3 basic attacks and 3 skills 2 times until her Forte is maxed, and then use her heavy attack, and make sure to attack once after you let go of your heavy attack button to do the last attack. And yeah, that's pretty simple. When it comes to the sub DPS, you basically do the same thing, but you only charge her Forte to half. I mean, she still gets the 50 Constero even if her Forte is not full, and then you swap to your main DPS. So yeah, you start with the intro, and then again skill 2 times to mark the enemy, and then you do the ultimate, 3 basic attacks, 3 skills until her Forte is at 50%, and then yeah, you use the heavy attack, attack once, and then swap to your next character. When it comes to the Rover team, you start with Danjin's outro to give Rover the Havoc damage bonus, and then you use Rover's ultimate and Echo, and swap to Danjin, use Dreamless, and then swap back to Rover and do Rover's combo, and then eventually switch back to your healer and restart the whole thing again and give everybody their buffs. But I feel like it would be better if you do Danjin's Echo and then swap to Rover and then use Rover's ultimate and Rover's Echo, and then keep on using Rover and do his combo. So that Rover gets a 22% Havoc damage bonus from Danjin's outro. Let's just do a quick damage test with Camellya and see how much more damage she does with Danjin.
Sour.
Okay, 225.
Don't run. Keep the dance going.
And 1 to 8. Yeah, it's not that bad. Considering that my Camellya build is really bad.
Is Danjin worth building? I'd say yes, 1000%. She's super fun single target, the best 4-star DPS and even better than some 5 stars. And she is perfect if you want to learn how to dodge. She's high risk, high reward, and she can be played both as a sub DPS and main DPS. So you probably already have echoes for her. I feel like she'll get more value in the future once we get more Havoc DPS characters. And another tip, if you don't want to get hit at the beginning, then I would suggest you guys to give your healer the Bellborn Echo. If my tips helps you, then you can help me by liking the video and subscribing. I would really appreciate a comment for the algorithm. And yeah, I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day or night. Thanks for watching.